I deleted every single file.
You choose what I read next reading vlog.
This is good. This is good stuff. I don't even know where to start, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. I lost literally every single video file on my computer last night. And I was keeping such good track of everything and keeping everything nice and neat that I was taking files from my DJI, putting it on my computer, deleting it off the disk, the SD card, I mean, and then like organizing it on my MacBook. And I was trying to clean up some space on my MacBook because it was getting a little full and I did an oopsies. And I deleted every single file on my MacBook, every single video. It's all gone. All of it's gone. So I'm going to be totally transparent. None of this is new, what I'm going to show you, because I literally spent an entire day like testing out all of the features for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which I have been loving. So I'm going to re-show you, even though this is the first time you're seeing it from me. This is my second time, and maybe I'll learn something new like the second time going through all the features and everything. But if you don't know, I normally record everything on my iPhone, and I really wanted something separate that I could strictly use for just recording and vlogs and stuff like that, because I got really tired of having everything on my iPhone and it taking up storage on there. That's why I got the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which I have been loving. And again, I'm going to actually switch over now, but look at how cool this is. I mean, isn't that the coolest thing ever? And then you can continue and shoot vertically. I mean, this is just so fun. Okay, I'm literally going to switch over to the Osmo Pocket 3 and let you know how cool this thing is so you can see how much of a difference the quality makes. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good. Okay, now that I'm switched over to the Osmo Pocket 3 officially, and that's what I'm using to record with, I'm going to show you everything that came with the creator combo. Just so that you know, and you're keeping an ear out for it, I am using only the mic on the Osmo Pocket 3 at this time. I'm not using the mic that comes with it. I'm only using the mic on the camera because I really, really want to test it out. And I've heard a lot of people are really satisfied with just using the mic on the Osmo Pocket 3, which is really helpful, because the reason I wanted the Osmo Pocket 3 was so that I could use up less storage on my phone, and I had something separate other than my phone to use. I wanted better quality as well, and I also just wanted like something different to use than my phone. My phone is great, it gets the job well done, but I really feel like I could tell that the quality of footage that I got this last week while I was using the Osmo Pocket 3 before I deleted all of my files on accident. All those files and like all that footage was just so good. I'm going to show you everything that came with the Osmo Pocket 3, and then I will showcase a bunch of the features. I also got the Osmo Pocket 3 because this is supposed to be really easy for beginners. Like, it's literally supposed to be like a turn on and go, like don't even have to switch any settings kind of situation. I think the only setting I really messed with was the gimbal direction. Like when you turn it on, which way it faces, there is a option to have it facing the opposite way. So if I turn you around really quickly to my screen, this is my screen, so that's backwards. And then here is forwards. And then here is forwards again. You can have it on a setting where you either have it facing this way towards you when you turn it on, or you can have it facing backwards, or there's a third option where you can have it facing on the last setting it was on before you turned it off. So primarily I'm doing a lot of vlogging, so this was the last setting it was on. So when I turned it on, it was automatically already facing it towards me, which I thought was really cool. But anyways, let's get into the creator combo package that I got. And then I will show you the 2 aftermarket things that I bought myself that did not come with the Osmo Pocket 3. Also, don't mind the laundry on my bed. It's all folded. I just have to put it away. I just was so excited to record this while Parker was sleeping that I just sat down and started doing this instead. First things first, this bag that you get with your Osmo Pocket 3 in the creator combo is absolute trash. I feel like it would be so much better if this middle piece actually was not in there, because I feel like it's taking up so much space and not allowing you to utilize the bag properly. I understand like why it's there, and I feel like if I wasn't carrying everything all at once all the time, it would be easier. But let me show you how I actually carry it. I actually recently got a book sleeve for my books, and this is so big that it fits my books and all of my DJI accessories perfectly. It also comes with this case. So when you get the Osmo Pocket 3, it comes with this case. In the creator combo, it also comes with this mic. It comes just like this, and it comes with this, which goes onto the mic, which I'll probably keep this on most of the time just so that I don't lose it. Another thing that came with the creator combo was a wide angle lens. And I really want to showcase the autofocus as I'm showing you these things as well, because I feel like the autofocus is just so good. I do not need it to be any quicker. I'm not a beauty guru. I probably won't be shoving things in front of the camera all the time, but that's the mic. Look at that. Even so small, like it's right up in there and really focuses on it. So good. Let's put the wide angle lens on. I hope I didn't just touch it on accident. I would keep your eye on the edge of the screen over here as I put it on. I even try to keep my hand in the same spot so you could see how much more of a wide angle you get with the wide angle lens. I am very impressed with this. Okay, another thing that the creator combo came with was this case. I'm not sure if this comes with the camera as well when you buy it, but I actually hate this case on the Osmo Pocket 3 because all of this open space still allows the gimbal to move inside my bag and could possibly damage my camera, but I actually still carry this with me. I'm sure you saw me taking the mic and the wide angle lens out of here, but this is the only case that fits the wide angle lens. But I still do carry this with me because this magnet actually attaches to this magnet spot as well, which is supposed to be for another lens spot, I think. But I actually use it to magnetize my mic right onto the case, and that way when it's in my bag there's less of a chance of it rustling around. I actually will throw this then in my book sleeve because these are things that I will keep with me all the time, and I don't want those two little things to be rustling around in the bag, but I just feel like the other bag that came with it is too small. It came with a battery pack, and it also came with a hand extender. If I wanted to use an extension, I would either use the battery pack or I would combine this with the tripod that also came with the creator combo, and I really do think they're helpful. So these also go into my book sleeve. That is actually everything, like besides the charger, that came in the creator combo. I do really think it is worth your money. I really have enjoyed using all of those things, and I do use them, so I am getting my money's worth. But the two aftermarket things that I got with my Osmo Pocket, or for my Osmo Pocket 3, was this case. I like this one over the shorter one. This one covers the buttons, and the reason why I like this one more is because there's velvet lined on the inside, so you're protecting your camera just a little bit more. When you have the Osmo Pocket 3, you can turn it on by flipping the screen open, or you can turn it on by pressing the button, the record button. There are other cases, like aftermarket cases, that don't have this little button cover, so if something were to press my record button and turn on my camera in my purse, I feel like that would really just put my camera at risk, and I paid a lot of money for it. My husband made sure that he made it possible for me to get this. I am a work from home mom, and so, of course I contributed to buying this, but we are a team and we work on it together, and he was really excited for me and wanted to support me. So he works really hard for his money, and I don't want his money to go to waste, so I wanted to make sure that I also got something to protect my camera. I really like this. It's super easy to flip open and flip shut, and it's nice that I can have this on my camera and just have my camera in my bag rather than having to put my camera also in my book sleeve. It's nice that I can just have this in my bag rather than having to double dig for my camera every time. The very last thing I want to show you that I got for the Osmo Pocket 3 is, I gotta take it off, this silicone sleeve right here. It literally is just a very small little silicone piece that goes right on the bottom, and I use this way more than the tripod because it really just sticks on and it can stay on, and it doesn't take up a lot of room, so I do enjoy it. And it also keeps the point of the Osmo Pocket 3 being kind of more discreet rather than having it on a really big long stand. Oh, another thing it came with, I don't know if you can see, is the wrist strap. It's currently attached and I'm not going to take it off, but it does come with the wrist strap, which the wrist strap was so hard to put on. It took me so long to put the wrist strap on. It was really hard. That's probably the hardest thing about this camera, is putting the wrist strap on. But that's everything that I got with the camera. I'm going to do some other test shots. I do have some extra footage left over from like finishing up the book vlog that I hadn't put onto my MacBook yet, so I'll probably show you next the remaining footage that I have, and then I might jump into another reading vlog as well. I have another book to read. Comment down below if you have also ever lost every single video file. That was heartbreaking. And you know what was so heartbreaking is like I didn't just have stuff for the vlog on my Osmo Pocket 3, I actually had a whole walkthrough of my house for like the pre-drywall meeting. I was devastated. I had all the footage from my pre-drywall meeting on my Osmo Pocket 3 that I put over onto my MacBook, and I accidentally deleted it and now it's gone forever. Luckily I have a couple pictures that I took, but all of the footage is gone. Devastated. Okay, I'm gonna keep testing this out because even though I've been messing with it all week, I feel like I can always learn something more. In the book, Rosie is literally about to start her period and she says, "My period is also due to start any day now, and I feel like my insides are trying to carve their way out of my body by way of my lower abdomen." If that is not the most accurate and relatable thing ever as a woman, like, and TMI, I literally started my period today, so this is just the most relatable thing I think I'm gonna read all day.
I am going to read outside on this beautiful day. And I'm getting to the good stuff because now that like the tension has been broken between these two characters, now they're really trying to navigate what to do next, because they've like broken that barrier of, okay, this is obviously going somewhere, but they don't really know where it's headed. So I'm excited to see what happens next to our two main characters. I'm gonna keep this as spoiler free as possible. I feel like everything that I tell you guys, I want it to just be things that would make you interested in reading the book. But yeah, it's been really great so far. I like need to keep reading. This is such a good feel-good read for me right now, especially after reading A Court of Silver Flames. I think I've said this before, but coming from A Court of Silver Flames was super, they talk about some darker topics in there, and this is kind of just like a really feel-good read, and it's nice to read this maybe in between fantasy novels or fantasy series and stuff like that. So let's keep reading. Here is the part where I say I'm glad I get to record this a second time. I've already had some footage outside, but the footage that I got, it wasn't very windy out, but my son was playing in the background and I was using the mic. And you couldn't really hear him, like you could hear him a little bit. The background noise was not too crazy, which was really nice. I did have the same setup with the little fuzzball on top, and I clipped it onto my shirt and I clipped it off. But one thing I noticed was that I kept turning away from the mic and I kept pulling it away. And while you can still hear me, you really can't hear me that well when I kept pulling the mic away. Yes, baby? Where's your you want your binky? I'm actually gonna walk inside and see how well this connects from inside the house. Here, hand it to mommy. I'm literally inside the house, probably a good 20 feet away. I'm pretty sure the mic stayed connected while I went inside. The first couple clips that I got with the remaining footage that I have left, it wasn't that good, and what I realized was I kept turning away from the mic, and the mic, like, this is a good distance to keep the mic when you're talking. You don't have to talk very loud. I feel like even just like within 6 to 12 inches is a good like distance from your face to talk into the mic, because as soon as you go a little further than that, obviously you're not talking into the mic, so you are not getting the best sound quality for your voice. I feel like 6 to 12 inches away from your face is a really good distance to have the mic at when you're talking. You don't have to talk super loud, and I feel like if I were to just bring it a little closer and talk quieter, you get a really good quality of sound too. what I really wanted to hop on here to say was that since I lost all of my footage from my Wild Love reading vlog that I recorded, I decided to do a You Choose What I Read Next reading vlog. I finished Wild Love. I'll probably still put a little bit of that footage in here just so you can see my reaction to some of what I was reading, because I do think it was really fun. I am going to be reading either Flawless by Elsie Silver or Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and I posted it on my Instagram story. I'm going to give it 24 hours and see which book gets the most votes, and then I'm going to do a reading vlog on that book. So this is now turning into a lost footage. Now you choose what I read next. If you wish you could have voted, go follow my Instagram because I will be doing more like that, or you can just subscribe to the YouTube channel and I will post the polls on my YouTube page as well. That way I can get more opinions, because I feel like it just makes more sense to have both. Like, the more opinions the better, in my opinion. That's a lot of opinions. Okay, all right, I'll check in later. The votes are in. I'm very excited to read this. I did not realize how small the text was. I have no idea what this is about. I never read the synopsis, like I never read the back of the book, I never read the inside to see what it's about. So, 20-year-old Violet Swarngill was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now the commanding general, also known as her toughest talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of the Navarre Dragon Riders. I've heard a couple things about this book, that it's really, really good and that it's kind of taken over the world. So, Xaden Riorson? Xaden. Okay. Let's get into it. I greatly cherish these moments that I get to go to the gym. They are like my life. Like, if I don't get to do anything that day except for go to the gym and like have an hour or two of gym time, like if that's the only me time I get all day, I feel like sometimes it's really all I need. I wanted to show you guys my book sleeve that I got because I am kind of in love with it. I got it off of Amazon. It was like $10 when I got it, but it's got little flowers on it. And it's got honestly, this pocket I never use. I maybe put my phone in there every once in a while, but while I'm reading Fourth Wing, I want to show you everything I put in here. I put all of my Osmo Pocket 3 stuff in this book sleeve. When I first got this, I was actually reading Wild Love by Elsie Silver, the book that I just finished, and it didn't take up a lot of room in here, so I was debating getting a smaller one, but now that I'm reading Fourth Wing and it literally takes up almost all the space inside of here, there's like wiggle room to spare, obviously, but because it's a bigger book, it takes up more space, so I think I'm just going to stick with this one. I don't need a new one, but literally, boom, 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 and then my camera fits in here as well. And that's everything I need. My phone will also go in here. I'll literally put it in the front because I'm constantly reaching for that so it doesn't stay in there very long. My little book sleeve. I honestly would prefer if the book sleeve, like if this pocket was on the inside. Like, so we had the book sleeve and then like a little pocket on the inside. Good morning. I wanted to show you guys what it looks like with the handle extender. It's like a little extender that goes on the bottom, and then the tripod attachment as well. I'm actually probably going to be using this setup in my home mostly just for that extra support, but if I were to go out and like travel and like go, I don't know, like if I was gonna throw this in my purse, I will always have the silicone base when I travel. I might not always have the tripod because this is just so much to fit in like my purse. This is not gonna fit in my purse. Realistically, this setup without the extender and the handle fits in my purse better, and my hands are so small that I can really hold it like this and it works out fine. I found a little hack. It's not a little hack. I think like you can find these things online, but I didn't know this when I got it. So if I were to have the gimbal up here and I wanted to reset it, you just double click the joystick and it resets it to the center, which is so nice. So say like, oh, it's too low, I don't like it there. I just double click the joystick and it recenters the gimbal for me, which is literally so cool. It's so nice to have that feature so you don't have to try and do it manually. I finished chapter 1 last night and I think it's so funny how Mira, Violet's sister, was like, stay away from Xaden. He's gonna want to kill you upon it's on sight. And Violet was like, okay, whatever, stay away from Xaden, got it. And then she sees Xaden and she's like, oh my god, this man, exquisite.
exquisite. It's just so classic, and I love that. It's a classic move, and you gotta respect it. It's giving me like Divergent vibes, and Divergent was one of my favorite books like 10 years ago when I was in high school. More like in middle school actually, but Divergent was one of my favorite books, and this is really, really giving like Divergent vibes. Yeah, it's giving like Dauntless, like Divergent vibes right now. My friend said that this book starts out super slow, but I disagree. I feel like it starts off really well. I'm like really interested. And you know what's funny? It says the very first like little, I don't know, review is Millie Bobby Brown. Says she couldn't put it down. Like, what? Look at all the awards it's won. Okay, I need to keep reading. I'm only on page 58. I literally have so much to read. I am going to take a break from the reading vlog to jump back into talking about the Osmo Pocket 3. In this clip, I used the face tracking to put my laundry away, and I was pretty impressed with it. I'm still learning what exactly this feature would be great for, but as of right now, I'm still just a beginner, so I don't use it too often, but it is nice to have if I ever need it. It was cool that even when I turned my back and hid my face a few times, the camera was still able to follow me, which gave me a lot of confidence in the camera's abilities. However, when I took it to the gym with Chris, the camera was in a spot where Chris's face got hidden by a lot of poles or bars that were just in the way, and it ended up losing his face a few times. But this is when I used the app to control the gimbal, and I manually was moving the camera from the treadmill where I was. I love the app. This is honestly one of my favorite tools to use with the camera in case I need a bigger viewfinder or display to see if I'm in frame, and a bunch of other features as well. I am super guilty of being dependent on the viewfinder, but what really helps me out too with getting used to the camera are the different modes for the gimbal as well. The first mode is your follow mode, which says it's good for vlogging. I think this is a good mode for general vlogging situations, or if you're walking and talking to the camera and want to make sure you have a balanced and smooth shot. This mode is really good at keeping the camera pretty level. I can move the gimbal side to side and it stays level with the horizon essentially. Unless you tilt the camera so far up or down, then it will slowly follow to view up or down. You can always use the joystick to move the camera around, but I actually find myself preferring the last mode on the camera for certain shots, which I will get to in a minute. But then you have the second mode on the camera, which is the tilt lock mode, which is meant to keep level with the horizon regardless of whether you point the camera up or down, unlike the first mode. I have no idea when I would need to use this, but I can see it still being helpful. This feels like a situation to me where if I was on a boat, I would use the setting, but at least for what I'm mostly using this camera for, I probably won't be using this too much, but again, it's a nice option to have. I am going to be honest, I do not see much of a difference between the last two modes, which are labeled your FPV modes. But I really like these if I want point of view shots or if I'm behind the camera rather than in front of it. I would still use this to vlog though. But say I am at a store and want to have a POV shot of looking down at something or up at something, this is much easier to maneuver than having the gimbal on the first mode, on the follow mode, and wait for it to slowly pan up or down or use the joystick. For vlogging, I will most likely either use the first mode, the follow mode, or the last one. The first one is nice for keeping really level shots, so I can twist the camera accidentally with my wrist and it will stay level if I want it to stay level. The last mode is nice for more control, but still a smooth shot, so POV shots, stuff like that. I really enjoy it. The last mode really reminds me of using my phone because of manually tilting the camera to get the shot you want versus using the joystick on the first mode. But I actually enjoy that. Something about it feels familiar to me, and so it doesn't bother me at all. Also, now that I have reviewed some of the footage back, I was super happy and impressed with the quality of the mic when I was getting that outside footage, and I can see myself using it a lot, especially when I was getting the footage outside. The wind was blowing and you could not hear it at all, or you could barely hear it at all. I am wishing I would have used it more outside, but even without the mic, the sound quality is good enough for me with just using the camera on its own. I do also want to take a sec to say that the photos, in my opinion, do come out really well. I think if I didn't want to use my phone for any reason, this is a good alternative. Or if I didn't feel like pulling out my phone and already had my camera out, I would use it for convenience. But in reality, when it comes to photos, I prefer my phone still, which does not bother me in the slightest because in my head, in my opinion, just the way my brain works, the Osmo Pocket 3 is for vlogging and my iPhone is for fun snapshots and photos. I have 7 categories that I'm going to run through really quickly when it comes to how I would rate the Osmo Pocket 3 as someone who is not techie or an expert on any of these things. The first being autofocus, I gave a 5 out of 5. I am not an expert. It works. It works really well, and I think it does what it needs to do. The face tracking, I give a 4 out of 5. Again, I think it does what it needs to do. I just don't really know what to do with it, and that's my problem. I think this requires a lot of intention, and I just really need to figure it out. For photos, I gave it a 3 out of 5, not because the photos were bad, but because I just prefer my phone. The mic, I would definitely give a 5 out of 5. I think it worked well. It does what it needs to do. And that's kind of what I'm basing my ratings on, is like, can this do what it needs to do? As far as the quality of pictures and video, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I think there are some situations where my phone gets better when it comes to the color and the vibrancy, but I still choose the camera, the Osmo Pocket 3, over my phone to record, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. I'm currently editing this video, and I'm going to take back what I said about the quality. I'm going to give the quality a 5 out of 5 for me because I do use the front-facing camera to vlog and record because I like having and seeing what I'm doing on the screen and making sure that like it looks good. I said I'm a sucker for the viewfinder. I'm a sucker for being able to see what I'm doing. I'm gonna change my quality answer to 5 out of 5 because you do get 4K quality and it does look better than the forward-facing camera because I'm guilty of using that 10 out of 10 times whenever I'm vlogging. So 5 out of 5 for quality. Number 6. The app. I love the app. I gave the app a 4 out of 5. I think this comes with the camera. I think it definitely needs to have its own category. I love being able to step away from the camera and still have control of it from the other side of the room, but because it's not the camera itself, there is only so much you can do with it, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. The last thing I'm rating the Osmo Pocket 3 on is whether it is beginner user friendly, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. I would say be proactive, Google or look up tips and tricks that would make this easier for you to use, but as far as being able to literally open it and start recording, it's perfect. I am just a beginner. I'm not super techy. Everything I do is really basic, so I really loved this, and it fits in my fanny pack, which is so small. The only reason I gave it 4 instead of 5 stars is because of the battery life. It hasn't died on me yet, but I'm also really good at charging my camera, and I haven't used the battery pack that came with the creator combo, but I'm still glad that I have it because I can see it being helpful. You will have to excuse my voice. I'm still getting over a cold, but thank you so much for listening to me rant about the Osmo Pocket 3. Now let's get back into the vlog. I didn't realize I was on the last page, like the actual last page, because there's like the extra content, the bonus content. The ending, oh my god. It's been my honor. And then the ending with shut up, dude. I have chills. I have chills all over my body. Okay, I have Mr. Parker behind me here who just woke up from a nap, so he might be chilling. He takes a little bit longer to wake up, but I finally finished this book. This took me way too long to read. I just have been so busy the last couple weeks with life. As we all know, it just gets in the way. It took me, I think, 2 weeks to read this book just between work. I came home to a very busy week at work that I was not expecting, and so I had to take a break from reading, and that took almost a whole week. So I finished it. I'll say I finished it in a week between life and work. The print is so small, and I didn't realize how long 530 pages actually is. Now, that's the bonus content. I didn't realize how long 493 pages actually was going to be for me. So, wow, what a good book. I'm just going to give it my rating right off the bat. I'm going to rate it, I'm really scared to give anything a 5 out of 5, but after reading ACOTAR, Parker, do you have to go potty? After reading ACOTAR and now coming to Fourth Wing, this might be a 5 out of 5 book for me. Okay, I have my notes and I'm ready to dive into it. My friend said that this book started off slowly. Absolutely not. I totally disagree. The first few chapters are this girl literally walking across a bridge that's like maybe this big, and she could slip and fall to her death. And if she doesn't make it, then like that's it, she dies. And in whose world besides my friends is that a slow start to a book? I think this book really started off with a bang. I thought it was really attention grabbing. I thought it was really captivating is what I want to say. The tension between Xaden and Violet, insane. I love it. It was very like enemies to lovers to me. Like an unspoken, unknowing attraction between these two characters. They really couldn't figure out why because they were supposed to be enemies. And I loved it. It was written so well. I think that the author Rebecca Yarros does a very good job at setting up the politics in this universe, and I think the world building was really good as well. The world building, sometimes I feel like in fantasy novels, because they're describing a completely different world, the world building can almost be too much rather than letting us enjoy the scene. But I think this was balanced really well. Rebecca Yarros does a really good job setting up the politics, and she gives us all the information that we need for the scene. But she was really good at consolidating the information for the current scene and what was needed. And you still had plenty of background information from the setup in the beginning, so you kind of understood better what was going on. I also think that there was a very diverse set of characters in this book. So essentially when you bond to a dragon, you get a signet power. And I feel like Violet's power should have been a dead giveaway because of her hair and a couple of other hints that were mentioned in the book, but I had no idea. I was absolutely clueless. Speaking of Violet, the FMC, wow, she's my favorite FMC so far in romantasy books. There was a weakness to Violet, however, I think it was really balanced out by her mental strength was insane. And to me, I haven't really been inspired by any other books that I've read so far, except for A Court of Silver Flames, but this one, I really felt like this was just an inspiring book. Wow. I'm kind of emotionally attached to these characters, which I don't really get all too often. It feels very Divergent coded to me, with like a hint of Hunger Games and a hint of Game of Thrones, which when you combine all those things together, it's really cool. It's a really great concept for a book. Hi, Bubbles. Are you coming to say hi to me? This is good. This is good stuff. I didn't know I was on the last page when I was on the last page because this is all bonus content. And I thought I had to read this. I didn't know that this was all bonus content. So I didn't know I was on the last page until when I turned the page and it said acknowledgements. The ending is so good. This is what made it a 5 out of 5 star book for me. The ending was everything I needed it to be. I usually love a book that really wraps up with a nice little bow. I have not enjoyed a cliffhanger in a really long time, but this cliffhanger, and there were like no hints. Oh my gosh. This is so good. Okay, all right. I'm done freaking out about this book now. I have really enjoyed and loved rediscovering my love for reading and my love for literature and different books out there. I'm actually also listening to American Sniper on Audible. I realized I can't listen to like my smutty romantasy or romance novels on Audible unless they contain like no smut. For some reason it just doesn't do it for me. I can't get through it. I can listen to it but I have to read the spicy scenes. Whenever it's narrated, it doesn't sound how it would sound in my head, and it just gives me the ick. I really need more book recommendations because I've been out of the game for over 5 or 6, maybe 7 years now when it comes to reading. So please comment your book recommendations, what you rated it. What do you think your worst rated book is too? I'm really interested to see what people rated, like gave a 1-star rating to. Comment. like your reaction to Fourth Wing, if you liked Fourth Wing, if you're going to read Fourth Wing. Like, I need to talk about books. I need to talk about books because I really love the book community and I love BookTube. And it's also hard for me to keep up because I am a work from home mom and a firewife, and I have so many other things going on. Like, we're building a house, but I'm trying. I'm really trying. Actually, my next read, which I am beyond excited for, is Flawless. At the beginning of this video, I was reading Wild Love, and so I want to read them in order because they do kind of like have guest appearances or cameos in the later books of characters from the books before. I am also loving the Osmo Pocket 3. I feel like I can't go anywhere without it. I love recording with it, so it's been really helpful. It's been really nice. It's been really, really easy to use as well. And I've also already used the Osmo Pocket 3 to record, I think, 2 or 3 more videos, so I've been messing around with it. But here's my first impression, like, review of it in this video. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check the description box for the links to anything I mentioned, like the book sleeve, the books that I've read and finished, the books that I'm going to read. My Amazon storefront has all of that good stuff on it. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.